Join me right now on Kumite TV is UFC featherweight Jordan Griffin. Welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, how you been?
Good, man. Let's get into it right away. You made your UFC debut in your hometown. What was that feeling like?
Oh man, I haven't fought at home in so long, so it was definitely it was a new experience because I had been on the road for so long, and I don't know what it was like. It was a little bit different, I guess. There was just something that was off. I wasn't mean enough that night or something. I don't know. So something was just a little bit off, but I liked it. In all, I actually liked it, and I got to learn about how the UFC works and how everything goes. So.
Well, the fight, it was a wild fight. It was a fun fight. Everybody enjoyed that fight with Dan Ige. Not the result you wanted, but the people were entertained. Looking back at that night, what did you think of your performance?
Uh, there's definitely I just kept it going. I didn't get stuck in too many places too long. There were things that I was like, okay, we got to work on it. We've been working on it at the gym. And it's but I did like the energy and how it was back and forth. And I came back in that second round, and I laid into him. So it was we were in the corner, and they were like, whoever gets the takedown is going to win this fight in the third. And I was like, okay. So you saw me shoot in, my legs buckled because he just stuffed real hard. And then, unfortunately, he got the takedown. So it's like, oh, boy.
Without giving too much away, from that experience, what did you take from that experience to, move forward in your career in the octagon?
When you're an amateur and you go pro, when you're an amateur, you're learning fight, you're learning the ropes. You go pro, it's kind of the same thing, but everybody's just a little bit more fit. It's more serious. The records matter. And then when you go to the next level, you go to the UFC, then it's like, man, everybody's fit, everybody's experienced, everybody has everything. So it's just like, there is no like hit or miss. Oh yeah, this is my lucky night or anything. Like everybody's experienced, and I think just that night wasn't my night, and I was kind of like, Dan's a nice dude. He walked up to me afterwards and was like, "Hey man, good fight. Nobody's ever given me that much trouble." And I was like, "Cool." And but he was like, "Yeah, I just didn't really feel like fighting," when he was doing his after fight interview, and I was like, "You won, bro. I don't know." So I don't know.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to say to you, and then go and say that in the post-fight interview.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I've never been a dude about rematches, but I said I want to pump these two wins out. Again, I don't like decisions. You look at all my fights, all finishes, majority finishes. I think it's 12. No, it's 13 finishes and four decisions. I do not like decisions. So it's I'd like to pump out these two wins, get finishes off, violent finishes off, and who knows if UFC goes to Hawaii, I'd like to take Dan Ige back to Hawaii.
Definitely, go to his hometown and take it
Yeah,
on right there,
stir some shit up.
Yeah. Well, it's been almost 6 months since your debut. What have you been doing to keep busy before heading into training camp for your next fight?
Uh, I buckled down so I stopped working as much. I really buckled down on training. So I'm very fortunate. I have Professor Daniel Wanderlei, who's a Carlson Gracie Jr. affiliate from Chicago. He's our main coach, jiu-jitsu coach. So I'm very fortunate. I was able to get a job assisting under him. So I'm in class 3 to 4. At least no, I'm in class almost 3 times a day, pretty much right now. So I teach 2, and then I get to learn. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm just jiu-jitsu all day. So I've just been doing that, and I've learned a lot about jiu-jitsu. Ended up getting a stripe on my purple belt, which is that's pretty cool. And but I think that jiu-jitsu is going to be. I don't think there's enough wrestling or enough lifting I could do that's ever going to make me a legit or strong wrestler. But I think I can always improve my jiu-jitsu, and that's going to give a lot of people problems. So if I can just work on my strength and conditioning, which I have been, and work on my jiu-jitsu, I'll be good.
Well, a lot of guys have shown that if you do have great jiu-jitsu, it can really counter a lot of, guys that are hardcore wrestlers in the cage. Now, June 29th, Minnesota. It's not too far from Milwaukee. Is it like another home game for you?
Man, I'll tell you this, nothing but good things have happened to me in Minnesota. So I have, my hopes are high, and I feel really good coming in. I was gonna say, basically my weight right now, like I've been training so much, my weight's been fluctuating super low. So I ended practice today at 153. So I have, like, what is that? That's a 6. So I have 7.5 pounds to cut in 3 or 4 weeks. So I feel really good. I won both my LFA fights in Minnesota. I met my manager in Minnesota. I was 3-3, and I had this crazy thing, like they like ripped. Somehow I got a lanyard, like ripped my finger open, and they stitched it up and then put it in there. Like, you still want to fight? And I was like, yeah, that was in Minnesota. And then right after that, I met my manager and got signed with my manager. And so nothing but good things have happened to me in Minnesota, and I have the same feeling going into UFC Minneapolis.
You're facing another veteran, Chad Skelly. Thoughts on his fighting style?
I think I'll never say anybody's too old. Obviously, if I can fight till I'm 35 or 40, taking care of myself, like, that's ideal. But I think that he's gone out. That he's kind of had some bad luck these last 2 fights. I think he's gonna come in and he's bringing it, and he likes to throw wild. And I just think, again, I think my biggest thing is I need to outwork him. So everything on my end is really good, and I just need to outwork him. We changed things up with my stand-up, actually, which I'm excited about. And the big thing with my last fight is I actually tore a bunch of muscles behind my arm. So I think I did it in the first round. So if you watch the rest of that fight, you'll see me throwing my punches like this. I didn't even realize it. I threw my arm out. I couldn't even, after the fight, the doctor says, lift your arms. And I couldn't lift my arm. So I think we changed some things up with the stand-up. We improved the Jiu-Jitsu, and I have Jared Gordon there with me, Jared Flash Gordon there with me, and then always I have Sergio Pettis. So we're just we're improving everything.
How long did it take you to get over that injury?
Probably about 2.5 months. Oh. So I was going to like a chiropractor, and he showed me a bunch of stuff that I could do to rehab it. And I was in the gym every day. Wasn't even lifting heavy. I was just doing simple stuff, like real simple stuff, just to get the mobility down, because I went from not being able to lift it and now I can lift it all the way back, and I'm back. I'm good. So again, I think it's just fighting smart. It's so weird. I feel like I fought so safe, but I still had exciting fights earlier on, and now it's like these last 2 fights I've seemed to get injured, and I think mentally, like, I'm kind of over that hump now. It's kind of like breaking the ice, you know what I mean? So I had my first UFC fight. That's amazing. I'm still like pinching myself, like, dude, you're in the UFC, and I feel like I'm gonna go in on June 29th. I know what to expect. I know, hey, you got to be here. You got to take your photos. You got to do this. You got to do that. Cool. Got to make weight. Cool. I know how everything works. And then I'm going to get all that stuff done and show up and do what I need to do. So
you have a certain level of comfort factor now, since you've already gone through the process. But do you still feel a sense of urgency going into this fight?
Yeah, always. I think, too, is I want to come out there and I want to finish, and I don't like easing into the fights where I'm sitting there and I'm pitter-patting. I don't like doing all that stuff. So I need to come out there. I just need to throw. I need to start throwing right away, and I need to show them that I want to be there. You know what I mean? I want to stay in the UFC. It took me 10 years to make it to the UFC. I want to stay in the UFC, and I need to go out there. I need to knock him out, like, bad. So I need to go out there and improve myself,
All right, well, June 29th, UFC on ESPN 3, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Jordan Griffin, thank you for your time, and hopefully we speak many more times in the future, man.
Definitely. Hey, thank you. Hey, how's it going? My name's Jordan Griffin. And I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Combat Corner, obviously Rufus Sport, Race Start Training, Native American Fight Gear, Damage Control Mouth Guards, Pre-Post Nutrition. I wish I had a list because I always forget. And Nasala Kombucha. My mom's here. They were like one of my biggest sponsors, Nasala Kombucha, based out of Madison. So they got the best booch around. And in Combat Corner, if I didn't mention them before. So I'd like to thank all my sponsors. And hope you guys check me out June 29th, UFC Minneapolis.